Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, all praises to the Most High and peace and blessings to all the brothers and sisters from the 12 tribes of Israel that have been scattered abroad. My name is Asa El Yasharala from the Israelite Temple number 1. The purpose of this message today, we're going to call it the righteousness of the righteous. So we're going to jump right in and get started. All right. Now, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 18. Okay, and we're going to go straight to verse 24, right? This is verse 24. But when the righteous turneth away from his righteousness, and committeth iniquity, and doeth according to all the abominations that the wicked man doeth, shall he live. All his righteousness that he hath done shall not be mentioned. In his trespass that he hath trespassed, and in his sin that he hath sinned, in them shall he die. And now that's a very important scripture right there. Now we're going to move forward and jump straight into the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33. We're going to go and read verse 12 and verse 13. So we're going to start at verse 12. Therefore, thou son of man, say unto the children of thy people, the righteousness of the righteous shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. As for the wickedness of the wicked, he shall not fall thereby in the day that he turneth from his wickedness. Neither shall the righteous be able to live for his righteousness in the day that he sinneth. When I shall say to the righteous that he shall surely live, if he trust in his own righteousness and commit iniquity, all his righteousness shall not be remembered, but for his iniquity that he hath committed, he shall die for it. Now, the reason I bring up these two scriptures in Ezekiel is because one thing I noticed that really troubles me amongst the 12 tribes in the nation of Israel is there's a great amount of respect of persons being shown, to brothers who are considered elders, brothers who are considered bishops and captains and leaders of these organizations, these Israelite organizations. And, brothers act like, their brothers are either hating on them or doing them wrong anytime we rebuke or correct them about something. Or what they'll do is they'll say, well, it's okay that these brothers have done something wrong, and it's okay that they've done wickedness because, they teach the word, and, they've woken up so many brothers, and, they've helped so many brothers come into the truth. And that's all good, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we're supposed to be doing. But at the end of the day, when you do something wrong, you still have to be held accountable for it, because the righteousness of the righteous will not save him when he turns away from his righteousness and starts to do sin and does wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we got to let that respect of persons go out of the window. You know what I mean? Now, it's okay to make a mistake, even though some of the things that these brothers get accused of are spiritually unethical. They're not above forgiveness. You know what I mean? But you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to humbly accept the correction of your brothers and your sisters. Because at the end of the day, that's one of our responsibilities towards each other. You know what I mean? Like it says in Proverbs, book of Proverbs 3 and 12, and the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 6 and verse 7. The Lord chastiseth, correcteth, and scourges those whom he loves. You know what I mean? So if we're going to follow his example, then we have to chastise, scourge, and correct each other when we do wrong out here. And it's part of the responsibility of the person who's done wrong to humbly accept that correction and that chastisement. Okay. Now, with that said, we all do wrong, according to the book of 1 Kings 8 and 46 and the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7 and verse 20. There's no man that doeth good and sinneth not, rather, pardon me. Now, also, we know from Proverbs 24 and 16 that a righteous man falls 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into wickedness. So even being righteous and having knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, we're still going to make mistakes. But we need to have the ability to take accountability for our actions and to humbly accept the correction from our brothers and sisters when they call us out and rebuke us for what we've done. Now, with that said, there's another thing that I see that I find very troubling. You know, when there is a problem with a brother or sister within the truth amongst the Israelites, we need to talk to each other and not about each other. Let me say that again. We need to talk to each other and not about each other, because there seems to be a rise in this backbiting and this tail-bearing spirit that's going on amongst the nations out here. And when I say the nations, I mean the 12 nations of Jacob. Now a talebearer is somebody who maliciously gossips or reveals secrets. Okay, and a backbiter is somebody who speaks maliciously about people that are not around. We're not supposed to be out here tale-bearing, revealing each other's secrets. We're not supposed to be backbiting and speaking maliciously about each other when another person is not present. Like it says in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 19 and verse 15, and also in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 13 and verse 1, by 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter shall be established. You know what I mean? So you can't just jump the gun, by 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter shall be established. Now we're going to jump to the book of Matthew, chapter 18. We're going to start at verse 15, and we're going to read through verse 20. Okay, now this is verse 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee 1 or 2 more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. Okay? Now, so we see there is a process for dealing with a brother or a sister that you have an issue with. First, you go to that brother or that sister between you and them alone and tell them their fault. If they do not hear you, then you bring 1 or 2 brothers with you to establish the matter. If they don't hear you and those other brothers or sisters, then you go and you tell it to your congregation. And if they continue to have pride and don't want to hear the rebuke or the correction of the congregation, then it says to let them be as a heathen to you. So if we're not following this person, if we're not following this process, then we're just as bad as the person that we're accusing of doing us wrong. All right. All praises to the Most High. Peace and blessings to you brothers out there. Shalom.